because I got all of that covered. I'll get... Wow. No pardon there either. Mm-hmm. I mean, what I'd have to do is do this. And then from there I have to say not a super big fan of trying to get anything to move around that. I could displace the HQs. Do that. At least blocks it from that side. Rather, I'd have it that they can only escape through that way. Although, one thing I could do is do this, this, and then this. They are also encircled now. Which is fine. I don't actually need to be at Podolsk immediately. Moving you here does block the airfield area. Cannot beat either of those units either which way. Do I actually have a mind to just leave them there? Alright, well I guess most of the important stuff is done, but not everything. Need to make sure that this is locked tight in a way. Let's start here. I shouldn't have put them that way. But that's fine. Now we got those. I'm really just only gonna move these units if it actually does accomplish something useful, because otherwise they'll just become more tired and lose more combat prep points. And I'd rather have units move with administrative zone of control. If I put them here, the chance that they'll be able to move through here or here is very unlikely, because they have the zone of control here and here. Not down here. But if I move I guess it would be fine. Should have actually just kept it there. Maybe I could put the cavalry here. Yeah. Let's do it. Okay. Now I'm gonna send these over to the west. Western Europe. Move you on Tilsit. Okay, now these guys are gonna work on the bits and broken pieces of rail around here. Let's actually take a look at said rail. Alright, there's still some damaged parts here and here before I can even get to Kaunas. So it's not super amazing, but I guess it will be fine. As for these, I actually really just want to push them up towards Pskov here, or at least through here. So, and I cannot get them to this side either way, so I'll just move them. And the same applies. You're even worse off. I guess I already used you indeed. Yeah, I'll be moving them up. Now, yeah, I think it's probably just for the best if I can move you down. No, if I do block them off, at least up here, which makes it harder for that tank division to escape. And then also putting in the 30th in this location. There's also a zone of control going out from it, so that will also make it harder, I guess, for these tanks to go and break out. They can technically move through here, but there's nothing there, so at least there it's not too bad from my part. And then I can get the 86th to move up here. Block that. Move to the east. These guys have been used. Over here. Let's actually move 8th Panzer over in this direction. So if I want to potentially get Vitebsk on the next turn, then moving forward there might do me some good. Naturally, I really don't like these units, but they were routed, so even if they are unready, it's probably not going to be that bad. Moving through these woods is always going to take one extra movement. But if we look at road hexes, there seems to be a road hex there. Do you have any way to see road hexes? Actually, really don't know. It seems like it's going through here. But I don't want to leave this entire area wide open. So I'll just leave this for the moment, and then next turn I might actually go down through here, get up to Bobrusk. Do you feel a bit more comfortable moving them here? Okay. Now, I actually do not think there is any use in moving them down. Might as well get both of them to move in there. You can move here. Okay, next. I'm gonna move these units up. You're going to be sent to the Western Europe. So they also don't take supplies. All right. I do think that in a very big part I'm done with my movement. And that means that I'm gonna go off screen take care of a bunch of stuff while I'm off screen. And actually, no, I cannot move anything there yet. Okay. Take care of a bunch of stuff off screen, mainly stuff like support units, reorganizing my core, but also working on the railroad. I forgot to, I guess, start that. Now, I did actually talk about moving this rail line down and working on a railroad down here. I brought a lot of extra units up there, down there, and I do actually think I rather have a second rail line down there first. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a bunch of units under a core, and I'm not yet sure which core that is going to be. But that core is going to work with all the RAD units that I can find, and I'm gonna try and work on this rail line here near Brest-Litovsk with that, while I have two FBDs working down to the south. What I will also do is I'm gonna actually, like, this sucks because I will have to repair this part too. I was thinking about going down, but then you kind of run into the same problem, and I don't want to waste all this time doing this first and then moving up. What I want to do is I want to work on this piece of rail, move up here, and then the FBD4 will work on this rail line further up, and I'll have FBD2 going to the east towards Minsk and then towards Smolensk. But this one is then going to first, so painful, going to work through here. And then work its way up, and this part is clear now, so that's okay. It will take some time to repair this, and by that time this will be clear too, so that also shouldn't be much of a worry. So that's mighty fine. I will also do things, for example, like a rail yard repair. And I will do that at Minsk too already. For example, yes. I'll do that at Lvov. And since I do have a unit at Tarnopol, I will do that there too. With all these important cities, I definitely want to go and work on railroad repair, rail yard repair. Same at Brest-Litovsk, where I will also do it. I will put it at Vilnius. Priority repairs. Did I already get it at Kaunas? No. So there we go. All right. Like I said, I will take care of a bunch of stuff off screen, and then I will talk about some of the stuff because I can't remember everything, but I guess reorganizing is not going to be the most fun thing to see like that. It's going to take quite a long time too, especially for this first turn. So I'm just going to do that, and I'll meet you back there. One thing that I'm going to do as well at the end of this first turn is I'm going to talk a bit about strategy and what I'm looking to do through a bunch of screenshots, and basically I'll show what my plan is for the upcoming few turns. So basically for this first turn, it is, you know, getting these units here, clearly. I'll also show this basically in my planning. So you will see that at the end of the video. For now, you can kind of see my progress here. So a Ravno pocket, or 2 Ravno pockets, yeah, I could also say. And Minsk pocket, taking Minsk, and taking Riga, taking the crossings. I feel marginally secure about this one. I don't expect too much trouble there. And then I certainly also do hope to take Polotsk next turn. That will give me all the Dvina crossings. I got the most important ones, basically. These 3. So we should be able to get up to Pskov fairly soon. Alright, I'll be back. Thanks for watching, and see you on the other side. Alright, back, and I've taken care of some reorganization. Now, basically that just means that I've dealt with HQs and stuff like that, so everything looks a lot better in that regard. All the units are under, you know, proper unit for wherever that might be possible in a lot of cases. Or I've tried to do that in most cases anyway. Alright, so basically that's it. There are a few movements. One thing is that I'm moving the 42nd Corps up to the north. So I had some units here that are now going up north. What I've done is I've gotten the 50th Corps. Now, I do have to say that Georg Lindemann is actually a very good commander. So I'll probably replace him some point in the future if I have more AP. I got all the labor groups under him that were under Army Group Center and South and North, basically. So this guy is going to try and work on this here rail while these guys continue to go down. Besides that, I've flown in some freight to various places. I'm contemplating whether I should still put it at Daugavpilsk. That's all the way from Suwalki. I can do a run, I guess. Let's do that. Let's see how much we get through. Not a lot, so let's just keep it like this. That's not worth the point. Either way, I've been flying some stuff. I can actually show that. I've been flying in supplies over here, over to Yegapilsk, and the airfield, not the unit itself, because it's much better to get to the airfield. I've flown stuff to Riga, over to Vilnius, because basically, if you're closer, you can use the Junkers 52s, and further on you have to use level bombers. Either way, I've flown some to Minsk. Again, not that much because it's too far, so you don't get that much through. Flown in some stuff to Brest-Litovsk. Like any small amount that I can push the freight forward, I will. So even here, like from this spot to this spot, I think it's still worth it because I cannot get supplies into Brest-Litovsk otherwise in this first turn, and this just pushes it a little bit further. Same for Lvov, where I've dumped a lot of supplies, and also some at Tarnopol. And I tried getting some at Proskurov, but that already didn't work, and the only thing that happened was me losing some air units. So yeah, that kind of sucked, but well, I tried. A lot of the bombers cannot really freight in too much on the first turn. the level bombers, because they've already been bombing airfields this turn. So a lot of them are already exhausted either way. Besides that, another thing that I've done is I've put most of these to 0 because I don't want the freight to go to the ports, and then to supply whatever Lipaya. I want the freight to go to the front and not here. So I've put most of those for empty. Now, I actually think I'm going to put you at 0 and you at 0 too. Now, if there are trains that are going the other way and clog the railroads there, that's fine. So I have a few units where I've got these 3 and they will export as well. That's fine. And I'll have only Danzig here to work that out. Let's actually still send the OKH to a marginally useful depot, I guess here. And I tried to get the HQs on depots so that the depots work better, naturally. Yeah, so that's that. I actually should also, I want to actually fly these guys. The problem is with Odessa, I tend to not have too many air units here, but you can do turn 2. Technically, you can get a rail going to Kishinev and then use that airfield for fighter cover as well, because it's too far from any of the closer airfields. Basically, right, let's get these guys flown into Foxani for now. That's not where they're going to end up ultimately. Hey. Did some of them not fly? Those at Pillau. Oh, okay. Sometimes it's a bit confusing as to me why some of them don't fly. Maybe it's too far. You never know. Let's cancel the air transfer. Let's see if I can get them anywhere closer. So, say, here. Nah, they're just not gonna fly this turn. Okay, well, fair enough, I guess. I'll see if I can get them on the next turn. Another thing that I've done is I've sent a buttload of support units over to Western Europe. A lot of artillery and pioneers, because I really want to have units basically flying in, or I really want to make use out of the artillery and engineer compartments. That's like 20% of this, and I'd really rather have, you know, another infantry division than, say, 8 support artillery. So I really want to get those things over here and deal with it. At the same time, I've also sent the prerequisite amount of units from the Western Europe. It was 95 before, now it's 91. So I've sent around 15 total in ground units over to North Africa. Because North Africa is basically the starting point for all the you lose territory kind of events. So I really want to have North Africa filled as much as possible, because North Africa makes you lose territory faster, and Western Europe just makes you lose 1 victory point. And I want to keep as much territory as for as long as possible, naturally. So the longer we can hold out in Africa, the better. So I really want to fill that up as fast as possible. I've shifted some recon forces and other planes basically to fit the other theater boxes as well, which will fill over time. So we will have, you know, a buttload of movement for the moment. I've also cancelled all the air groups except the ones that I want. So for example here after turn 2 and 3, where everything is in transfer or reinforcement, basically you now see that there's basically only reinforcement and disbandment, because I want to decide myself when those units are going to fly. And I've already missed a few. That's great. That shouldn't happen. Oh, it's 4th of January. Right. I'm already too far in, right? Either way, so up until... I'll do this every year, so at the start of every year I'll take care of it, because I don't feel like doing everything in one go. It'll take 5 years before I finish that. Okay, so that's also done. And I think basically with all that, I'm pretty much set. Yeah, I've also sent a large amount of support units into the OKH, because I want to either redistribute them or send those over to any theater box. And I don't feel like those support units are going to be absolutely critical for the first, 2 or 3 turns. So I'd rather get quite a few of them in there in order to make sure that the theater boxes are okay and that those support units go where they're needed. For example, I will need quite a bit of pioneers and artillery to take Odessa. And I do hope to be at Odessa in turn 5 or so. Preferably 4. At least to have them encircled turn 4 and isolated, but then from turn 5 at least have my troops out already. Yeah, so that's about it. I'm gonna talk a little bit about strategy here and what I aim to do in the upcoming turns. So I'll meet you there. But besides that, I am gonna ship this this turn back to my opponent here. I'm quite done. Except this. There's always stuff that you'll find, and for example stuff here. Let's actually look. Yeah, I don't have any ability to take those guys into the 4th army for the moment. It's okay, but yeah, we'll see there. Let's also take a quick peek at the order of battle screen. So for the moment, we can see that my opponent still has a 2-to-1 ratio in planes. Pretty much a three-to-1 ratio in tanks almost. He has more guns and, not more men, but we have a lot of encirclements going here. Looking at the losses, we got 17,000 men killed in the first week, well 18,000 really, 600 guns and 90 tanks. And my opponent lost 261,000, close to 6,000 guns and 1,200 tanks. Again, we'll see how much worse that will be with the upcoming encirclements of the next few turns. I expect to snag a good few of the units in here to Especially since they cannot use the rail, at least at the moment. You got flak. No, let's give you something better. Either pioneers or panzerjägers. Let's check how powerful each one is. So the Panzerjäger Battalion has 0.22 and the Pioneers have 0.7, so definitely going for the Pioneers here. To beef up their strength, because I don't want my opponent to push these guys and be able to use the rail again. We'll see if he tries. He might. Okay, so like I said, that's that, and I will talk a bit about the strategy that I'm gonna employ here. Alright, I'm here with a simple image editing program, but that's fine. Let's actually zoom in a little bit. So I guess you'll have to bear with me for my let's just say inexperience or unprofessionability, or whatever you want to call it. So we have here Army Group South and I guess 2nd Panzer and stuff like that. So basically what I wanted to achieve, so let's just say first turn I wanted to achieve the Ravno pocket over here, together with multiple units, but mostly 1st Panzer. Now the idea is that 1st Panzer over the course of the next couple of turns is going to move into the Krivoy Rog area, but most notably also further down south to cut off Odessa and capture these ports, so that eventually, let's just choose a different color here, because I want, let's just say a deep purple. I can never get the exact same color, of course, but so that the 11th Army can assault Odessa over here and then move into the Crimea. Ideally, 1st Panzer can crack the defenses, maybe together with some 11th Army units. I'll try to get to Sevastopol as quickly as possible so I can free up the 11th Army. And basically the Romanians, which are in a slightly lighter color here, the Romanians will pretty much just lead the assault here against the weaker Soviet units, and will be tasked with also clearing out the units here. Now, ideally, the 1st Panzer Army is going to create not only a pocket here, but also another pocket over here, because I want to deny the opponent the ability to use the rail. And I can technically do that by moving into this hex and into this hex. And if I cut them off through, for example, indeed the Romanians, basically I have some armor or cavalry that can move up through here, and that will allow me to pocket potentially another certain amount of units there. The 16th Army, which is a dark green. The 16th Army is, some of them are going to clear this, the Slovakian units, and the rest of it is going to move straight through and potentially look for the Dnieper opening. And afterwards continue to move towards Dnipropetrovsk and Zaporozhye for the upcoming turns. The same will apply. It's a pretty difficult color to figure out. Yeah. The 6th Army will pretty much do the same. So they will move in here, potentially upon Kiev too. But to be honest, what I'd rather do is have the units here from 2nd Panzer. These guys will move up here as well and look for a crossing somewhere around here if I can, so that they can actually move further up. And the 6th Army will support that. That's basically the strategy. For 6th Army, ultimately, their goal will be to then move further along towards Sumy and Kharkov, and say move beyond, while units like 1st Panzer, it's not exactly the same color. 1st Panzer will cross the Dnieper either here or here, and then look to get to Stalino. That's basically the plan for Army Group South for the first year. I'm not showing Stalino and Rostov, but this will suffice for the immediate future, and this is pretty much my plan. Next up, we have Army Group Center, and let's get started here with the blue. So we still have 2nd Panzer Group, which is also over here. And basically 2nd Panzer Group has the task of moving around over here. And I already said they're going to move south through Kiev and stuff. Basically, I want them to try and create an encirclement and move towards Kursk and Orel for the immediate future. And then later on, very likely, they will go up towards Moscow through Tula. The 4th Army here will attempt to cross the Dnieper here and here to move towards Smolensk and to Bryansk. There is the 2nd Army, which is, I guess, slightly lighter. I'll put it a bit of a different color. The 2nd Army will move and advance into this direction. So basically they will push towards the Orel and Kaluga area. Of course, that's all after this here first encirclement, but let's talk about that with green. It's not the same, but it doesn't matter. So after these pockets are have been made, like now, I should have done this before, but it doesn't matter. 3rd Panzer is going to move upon Smolensk and find potential river crossings here or here, if they have them, but their goal is to move towards Smolensk in some way, whether it's from behind, from above. Basically, they need to encircle Smolensk and get beyond. After they've done that, they'll move upon Vyazma and Kaluga. This is Bryansk and this is Kaluga. Yeah, so my bad. So that's that. I might also move in here. They'll be supported by the 9th Army, which is also directly moving upon Smolensk, and up here. Again, potentially moving upon this area over here, because this is the last crossing that I haven't taken yet. And I still need to grab, just especially because I'm sending 2nd Panzer down south. I just don't have the armor to get there. So it's a bit of a, I guess a trade that you're making there, but that's okay. So that's that. Then we have the last army group south here. We still have the green going into this direction. So I'm not going to be bothered by the other stuff. I actually think I'm going to put... Let's actually go back here. Because now that I'm thinking about it, Army Group North has not that much, and Army Group Center is overburdened. So I'm going to get the 9th Army under Army Group North. There we go. Which means that both Army Group North and... not OKH. Army Group Center are now fine. Because Army Group Center was overburdened before. As you can imagine, with the 27, they were at 113. And now they're not. And these guys are also okay. Alright, back here. Yeah. Alright, so we have currently... let's talk about 1st Panzer Group first. That's also actually a pretty nasty color. Alright. 1st Panzer Group is not going to be supported by that much. So I'm not going to send more armor up north. As surprising as it is, I don't see Leningrad as the ultimate objective. And I'm not going to say I'm not taking it, as I certainly will try. But I'm not going to give them extra stuff beyond what they currently have. We'll see whether that works out or not. I have this one motorized unit here, which I will send up north towards the Narva crossings. And up, they will be followed up by a portion of the 18th, which I will draw shortly. The rest of the armor is either going to try to find a crossing here or through this way. And then they will spread out. They'll move either through here or they'll move up towards Leningrad. That's 4th Panzer Group. Then we'll have, let's go to deeper purple, 18th Army, which is going to send 1 corps up here. And also to Tallinn. And they're going to support the assault on Pskov and then move beyond. Then we'll have 16th Army, which is light. 16th Army will move towards Veliki Luki. Also, I guess try to get as far as possible here. There is the rail line here. If I do see an opportunity, I might actually try and cut the double rail towards Leningrad over here. Not necessarily with this army, could be 4th Panzer as well. But it's a very straightforward approach to Leningrad, I would say, through this way. These guys will also support the attack on Pskov and potentially Novgorod, which is here too. We'll have to see how we're going to fight our way through, but it's mostly going to be an infantry battle up here anyway. So I don't want to be using too much armor, but I will need some, so I will leave that there. Depending on how things go here, these guys will also try to go as far as possible. There is a rail line here. It's a single rail, but I do like that rail because it's one of the few additional rails that is moving up to Moscow. Once I've achieved my initial goals of, I guess, Pskov here, and Tallinn and Narva up here, and Veliki Luki here, the target of Smolensk over there, let's just make that green. Smolensk, the crossing, getting these crossings, I guess Gomel or Chernikov. This is Gomel and this is Chernikov, I think. Let's see whether I was right. Yeah, the top one is Gomel. Right. Oh, there we go. Here, okay. Once I've achieved those goals and basically down here the capture of Odessa, capture of Kiev, Once those goals have been met, so probably after like, say a turn or 6-7, most likely. I probably won't have captured these, but I will make new plans to show how I'm gonna do things. But this is basically the plan that I'm having. Very amateuristic setup like this. It doesn't look nice, but I guess you can catch how it's gonna go. All right. There we go. So that's it for turn 1. I will ship it to my opponent. There are no units here currently that can be moved. I do believe there's infantry that will activate, I guess, next turn. Yeah. So what are notable things that happened first turn? Capture of Riga, capture of the Dvina crossings, capture of Minsk, Vilnius, and Kaunas. The encirclements, I guess. Capture of Brest-Litovsk, Ravno pockets, and the capture of Lvov, Tarnopol, and Proskurov. And that's basically what. Oh yeah, and the the death of Rokossovsky, which I guess, I mean, he is one of the top generals for the Soviets, so I don't mind that either. Alright, there we go. Let's see what my opponent can make of that first turn. We haven't decided yet when we're gonna start airing this. Of course, I'm recording this way before this gets released because you don't want to publish this, and I mean, if my opponent will see it, or maybe one of his subscribers, or they will, you know, comment on my strategies and stuff like that. So you don't really want that. Even if he doesn't check it, it might be that somebody will post about my strategies, which he will have to read because he'll have to delete it or whatever. So not that I think that he has bad intentions in that regard, but you know, that kind of stuff can always happen, which sucks. So that's why it's the same in the Soviet game. Like, I'm actually publishing like turn 5-6, whereas I'm actually in turn 21, so a lot further. Yeah, there we go. I always feel like there might be something that you can still improve, but you can stare yourself to death, I think, like that. So at some point, just gonna cut the cord on that. Yep. All right. Oh yeah, I did also do all the rail repairs, in case I didn't do that on screen. I don't know if I did. I think I did. Not sure. I'd have to go and take a look. So it will also be interesting to see how this game will compare to my Soviet campaign, because I actually feel like I'm doing pretty well in my Soviet campaign so far against my opponent. I'm certainly making a lot of mistakes too, but I feel like I'm significantly ahead of the historical outcome, at least until now. Of course, you guys don't necessarily know that already, but let's forget about that. Yeah. Alright, come on, please upload. Alright, thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time. Bye-bye.